One of the things we talked about when you were interviewing us is your ability to see a proposal, really get to the core of it, and then really, decide if it's a viable option for you. What gives you that strength? How are you able to do it? And how do you view all the, enormous amount of proposals that come to you each day?
Well, I have a lot of good people that work for me, and they bring lots of proposals to me. And I'm a big believer in looking at lots of different things so you have a choice. You have a menu. It's like going to a fine restaurant. Usually the better the restaurant, the more things you see on the menu. You have a menu of things, and then you choose the one or two or three that you like. I know people that look at one deal, and they do that one deal, and they don't see a big display in front of them. And usually that one deal doesn't work out so well. So I like to have a big choice, a big variety. It's very important to me. And then I'll choose a percentage of them that I think are good. You get to see a big, beautiful menu, and that's what I like.
We're one of the few developers out there, and you're one of the few developers out there, even on the luxury level, who's really able to do every single side of real estate, from the golf courses to the incredible single-family homes, the clubs, your condominium routes, hotel. How do you manage that sort of diversity of projects?
Well, I think it's all in the imagination. It's all having an architectural flair. It's in the location. We have a site that you folks know very well, 300 acres right in Los Angeles, in Palos Verdes, which is a fantastic location within Los Angeles. And it's 2.5 miles on the Pacific Ocean, and we're building mansions there. We just built a golf course that's rated the #1 course in the state of California. And it's just a fantastic piece of property. When I saw that property, I immediately knew I wanted it. After I got it, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. After I got it, I had to go through a lengthy zoning process. They felt very good about me. They felt very good about Trump and the Trump brand. And they approved this massive project, and it's been a great success, as you two know very well, because you're not just interviewers, you're also a part of the Trump organization, you're also my kids. But you know very well how well that's been, and all of our jobs are going well. So I really like looking at lots of different things. I like then executing, and sometimes I change. You can't be totally, blindsided by one goal. You may look at a site, and you may have it, and you may have an office building in mind. But you can't just keep that in mind, because maybe all of a sudden it works much better for a residential building.
Chicago's a great example of that.
Well, Chicago's an example. Seven Springs is an example. We were going to do a big golf project with houses, and then we ended up changing it a couple of times. And, you just change with the times. Like the fighters say, you go with the punches. You have to change with the times. So I think I'm very flexible in that way, and I'll take a piece of land. It may be a much different project than it was when I conceived it and bought it, and then 5 years later it's totally different. But the main thing is to make it really terrific, really great, and make it work.
Now, not speaking as our father, but speaking as our boss, what do you think are our greatest strengths and weaknesses? What do you think we need to improve on, work on, or what things we should just leave exactly the way they are, if any?
Well, I can say this with all sincerity, and I mean it. I'm talking about the two of you, and I have other children. But I'm talking about the two of you right now. You don't have lots of weaknesses that I've been able to see. And if I did see those weaknesses, I will bring them to you very immediately and very quickly.
That we know for sure.
Over the years, I've told you things that I didn't like about you, and I've told you things that I didn't like about you. I've told you things that you had to straighten out, and I was very strong. I don't want to make that a big public thing, so I won't even mention it.
Well, that's more personal. I think we're talking about, the business side and, again, as our boss.
Well, you're very hard driving. You are very different but very similar. You're very glib, and glib is a good thing, but you have to be careful with you don't be too glib. You're very glib. You have great vision for projects, and I think I'm going to speak about both of you, generally speaking, both of you, because you're very much alike in many respects. You have a natural instinct for business. You both went to the Wharton School of Finance, but you have beyond that, you have a natural instinct for business. And you're doing a terrific job. I think your one weakness, if there is any, and I don't think that it will be a weakness ultimately, you're young and you're not always focused. And you have to keep focused. When times got bad, I went and focused, and that's why I came out so strong, and other people, they went bankrupt and gone and never to be seen again. Many of my friends in the early 90s, when we had a real estate depression, it wasn't a recession, they went bankrupt and they went out of business. I never did. I focused. I owed a lot of money. I had a lot of jobs, and the jobs all of a sudden weren't such great jobs because the world was a different place. But the one thing I would say for both of you is you have to keep focused. And you're not always focused, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're both very young.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
You've been watching Forbes exclusive Trump on Trumps, up close and personal with the Trump family, only on the Forbes.com video network.